Hey, good morning, my friend. The sun is shining, the weather is sweet out here on Mama Bali once again, the island of Bali, Indonesia. Loving it. And just wanted to share with you some crucial conversations that need to be opened from the Fresh House. This is Fresh House TV. I'm your host, Scott Mitchell Atkins. Thanks for checking us out. What we're going to talk about today is a host of different things, all right? The idea of the fresh house. Well, what is fresh? Fresh is like cool, fresh is clean, fresh is this tank top, all right? And this sarong. What it is. This is fresh, all right? This house over here, I'll give you the tour. This is the fresh house, as you can see. So, in fact, I'll do the benefit of sitting over here, even though that's not helping because you can't really see what's behind me until I prop this camera up to make this thing work. Anyway, alright, so that's what it is. Okay, so anyway, basically, what is freshness? Well, we're going to go to teach you about an Ayurvedic philosophy. Ayurveda is the sister science of yoga, science of self-healing. It's how I use my kitchen as a pharmacy. Not with a pH, however, I do have high pH water oftentimes, but with an F, like farm, like get some fresh foods up in you, more sattvic. So we're going to cover different terminologies, but basically the Samkhya philosophy of creation from Ayurveda talks about these 5 elements. The 5 elements are 1, akasha, or ether, or sound. This is all the first one, ether. All right, when I say that, we're talking about akasha. If you've heard of the Akashic records, it's like everything that's happened in your life and beyond for many lifetimes. It's stored in this data file that's just in the universe, all surrounding us, constantly, ever present, called the Akashic record. There's also sound. So sound vibration. It's vibration. Sound is vibration, is it not? Yes. So, Om. Om. It's the sound of the universe. It's the sound of creation. It is the primordial sound, Om. You can feel it resonate in your body. That is ether. That's this vibration we're talking about. For every element, and I'll go through them first, but I'll explain this too first. For every element, we have a motor organ and an expression organ, you could say. So our motor organ for sound, for ether, like how do we experience sound, vibration, the most, or shall we say the least dense of the 5 elements. We experience it through our ears. That's how we hear it, through our ears. So how do we express vibration or sound? Like, what's our motor organ for that? It's gonna be our tongue and lungs, right? That's how we express sound, right? So I mentioned this, the least dense of the 5 elements. Well, what are the 5 elements? Well, we have ether or sound. We have air, fire, water, and earth. These are the 5 elements. So in order of density. So air, we can't see it. So what is sound? We can hear it, but we can't see it, feel it, touch it, taste it. We can hear it though, all right? So next is air. Well, you can't hear air. I mean, you can hear wind as it goes over your ears or whatever, but you can't hear air. I mean, you can hear air. Let's say you can hear air, right? You can hear air. You can hear air, okay? possible. You can hear wind, okay? But you feel it too, okay? But you can't see it, you can't taste it, you can't touch it. So it's the second most dense element, right? And how do we sense it? We sense it with what organ? With our skin. We feel it. How do we express feeling? That we express it with our hands. We feel stuff with our hands. So that's the motor organ, the expression organ. All right, next is fire. Okay, we can see fire. Can we hear fire? I don't know. You can hear crackling things that are burning in fire, but we can see it. We can feel it. That's the new. Like we got with air. We can feel air and wind, but we can see it. We can't hear sound. We can't hear air, but we can see fire. So how do we see light, spectrum of light or fire, this vibration, this higher vibration of light? We see it with our eyes, right? And how do we express? What's our motor organ for light, for fire? It's our feet, because we can walk to or away from the light. All right, next is, guess what it is? What is next? Next is water. Guess what? We can't taste. Supposedly, like, if you hold your mouth open and just breathe your tongue dry and then put, like, food on your tongue, you can't taste it. You can't even taste without water. So our expression, what we sense water with is our tongue. How do we express water? Well, it's with our urine. Okay, we can see it, we can feel it, we can taste it, and it helps us taste, and we can touch it. It doesn't really have a smell. Maybe stuff in it might have a smell, but that's where earth comes in, the fifth element. So earth, we see it, smell it, taste it, touch it, feel it. We can hear it. We can hear a tree fall in the jungle. You know, we can hear the water, the waves, the ocean. So that's the most dense. What do we express earth with? Well, we smell stuff with our nose. We smell it. And we poo. We got feces. That's how we express earth. So that's this Ayurvedic philosophy. And the more you feel into that, you might start recognizing just, I don't know, that's how I explain, that's how I go about using Ayurvedic science to explain a lot. So there's that, there's the elements, there's the 5 elements. That was critical to understand. Akasha, which is the most subtle, which can affect every single one of them. It's all the vibration, it's sound, it's mantra. I'm from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, and a lot of people go there to record music and get all up in the music business industry, and I'm from there, and I feel like I've got a different perspective than a lot of people who go there, and it's mantra, it's sound waves travel through us, the physics of sound. The sound waves travel through us. Imagine what other waves there are. They say that we as humans know like less than a millionth of the electromagnetic spectrum. And the electromagnetic spectrum, of course, as we know, is all the waves, all the vibrations. But what we know, what we experience through the 5 senses, through our bodies, are just like a little tiny piece of the whole schlemiel, the whole spectrum. And so all the lights, all the colors, all the sounds, they're vibrations, they're all waves. Imagine all the other waves there could be. There's X-rays, there's Wi-Fi, we can't see those, you can't really hear them. so much. There's waves all coming off my phone right now. It's not even in airplane mode. I want to put it in airplane mode now. Hang on. Can't even do it when I'm on video. I'm just making it all bright for y'all. Okay, so anyway, there's waves coming off everything. There's waves traveling through outer space, through our solar system, going through planet Earth, through our bodies, like every single day, that we don't even know are there. Makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, we know less than a millionth of the electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum. And um, so waves are bombarding us constantly. The tones that we produce through our mouth, the syllables, they affect our nervous system, they affect our consciousness, they affect the world around us, because we speak life or death into every situation, don't we? As Henry Ford, was it Henry Ford that used to say, whether you say you can or you say you can't, you're right. If you keep saying you're poor and keep asking for $1, you're just gonna get dollars, maybe. You ask for millions of dollars, you might get millions of dollars. You shoot for the moon, you might miss and land among the stars. It's the words that we speak, how we talk to ourselves, how we talk to other people, how we relate with the world. The words that we say, do we get frustrated? You know, all the cuss words. A lot of that I've noticed. I say cuss words more often when I'm in a fight or flight response, like sympathetic nervous system. We've got like sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, right? You know how the sympathetic nervous system is this flight or fight response, right? Like when the stimulus like trips us out, we could just like run away or stand up and fight. We're on guard. Sometimes, you know, when I'm riding a motorbike in traffic, I'm like, dang, I feel like sympathetic nervous system all the way. I'm very alert. Don't want to, you know, I want to live, you know. I want to live. You notice how I caught myself there. I almost said like, I don't want to die. But that's words, right? That's vibration. That's the intention, the vibration that we set forth. So what if we have, you know, less resistance, rather more allowing? Basically saying they're inharmonically equivalent. This is a musical terminology. So D flat and C sharp, they're the same sound to our ear. They're inharmonically equivalent, but we can explain them in different ways depending on what key. I mean, if you play brass or woodwinds or you know, horns of some sort, you likely think about flat keys instead of sharps. You don't think of C sharp as much, as you'd rather be on some D flat, you know? That's just how it works. They're inharmonically equivalent, even though they sound to us the same, and in the same frequencies coming out of whatever instrument you're playing, inharmonically equivalent. So it's like, hey, I don't want to die. I want to live. It's kind of like saying the same thing either way. However, we've got our choice to choose what key we're playing in. Are we playing in the key of fun and being funky? Are we being funky? Are you being funky today? Well, ask yourself, like, how funky can I be today? I don't know exactly what I'm talking about now, but I'm talking about inharmonic equivalence of how we choose to speak, what we choose to say. How that affects our day, what we attract in life. What do you mean, law of attraction? Scott, do you believe in law of attraction? Yes. The answer is yes, because whatever we tune our thinking to, our reticular activation system in our head, you know how like when you're going to get a new thing in your hands, or drive a thing, or a new thing, or a guitar thing, or like something, you know, and you start seeing those little things all over the place, and you're like, wow, everybody's got these things. You know, when I wanted to get a Sprinter van, I was looking at Sprinter vans to get, and And on the streets, I would see Sprinter vans all over the place. That's my reticular activation system, our reticular activation in our brain. It makes those things pop out. It's like, right now, do this exercise. Hey, look at everything that's green all around you. Everything that's green everywhere. Wow, that's a lot of green. All right, now, what was blue? You're like, what? Dude, yeah, because what you focus on is selective. So whatever you think about, whatever you say, even though things are inharmonically equivalent, like, I don't want to die on a motorbike today, it's like, you could just say, hey man, I just want to live on a motorbike and get to my destination. This is like saying the same thing, but and that's just a small example. But you could apply that to everything in life. You've got different ways of looking at the same exact thing. Might as well be on the positive tips that's gonna bring you towards that which you desire. Because then life feels like spontaneous fulfillment of desire, as Deepak Chopra talks about. And Abraham Hicks. These are two people I've listened to a lot of and really enjoy. You might dig them too. So it's all mantra, what I'm talking about. It's all about the vibration. It's the vibration of thought, words, which lead to actions, and it's our thoughts or words. Our thoughts building emotion. What is emotion? Energy in motion. Emotion. It's like, does the ocean stop moving? Are there ever like not waves flowing through the ocean and water molecules changing and like all the time, constantly? I don't know. Maybe it's every moment, but that's all it is. And then it's constantly fresh and new, right? It's never the same. So it's constantly in motion. And as what laws of physics say, an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by some outside force. So this brings me to Akasha vibration and talking about our words, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, and emotion. And one tool that I love that I picked up from Abraham Hicks is every 17 seconds we're thinking about something. Universe, source delivers us another thought of a similar vibration. And after 68 seconds, that's 4 17-second cycles, we have this momentum that's built up that can fuel our entire day. And how, if it's a path that leads us not feeling good, it's up to us to find the awareness to change that. And so it becomes a practice of tuning our awareness, being able to be aware at any given moment of our emotional, energy in motion, guidance system. So, what am I saying? What are you saying, Scott? All right, there's different techniques to ground in the moment and be aware. Comes back into your sympathetic, your fight or flight nervous system, and your parasympathetic nervous system, which is like rest and digest. We want to balance these so they're just cooling. Because a lot of people, especially if you're on coffee and working like I've done before, is like you get sympathetic off coffee and stuff, and you're like spiking, you're up here, and you're like, whoa, dude, I'm so spiked, bro. I'm like, focus zone, focus, coffee, work, computer. Oh, I'm like a robot, extreme. And then you get extreme, and then, whoa, it's like, dude, that was a whole day or two of solidness. I'm gonna just crash. go to ecstatic dance and eat a bunch of food, and then like wait a couple days, and then you might go again after a few days. You're like, oh wait, I can't just hang out and, you know, I gotta get some work done. So I'm gonna take some more coffee and be like, whoa, dude, I'm getting coffee on. Whoa, I'm spiking again, chief. Here's my, this is like a chart I'm drawing with my finger. Like spiking way up here, bro. Whoa, get the work done. Cool. And then it's like a day or two of that, and you're like, oh man, that was a lot, dude. I'm like way down here again. So, there's Pomodoro technique. All right, check this out. So, you could do the Pomodoro. I've got a little Pomodoro timer on my MacBook Pro, and it's really cool because basically it's this concept of you do like really focus for a set period of time, and then you take a break, and then that's one Pomodoro. And what I like to do is 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off. So I'm like, all right, so I'm starting here. I'm just like, okay, let's say there's baseline. I'm drawing a chart with my fingers. There's baseline right over here, okay? I'm like, where am I? I don't know where I'm at, but this is my finger, and I'm just like, yo, I'm working, I'm focused, everything's good, 50 minutes, whoop, 50 minutes up, and then 10 minutes down. What am I doing in those 10 minutes? I'm taking my hands like this, putting my thumb on my nose, inhaling 4 seconds through my nostril, taking that finger, and exhaling 6 seconds out of my other nostril. Then I inhale through that same nostril for 4 seconds. Then I go back here and exhale for 4 seconds. 6 seconds out of here. So I'm inhaling for 4 seconds, exhaling for 6 seconds. I inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. So that is alternate nostril breathing, and that's going to help balance your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. So it's kind of like better than coffee. If you can do that for 5 to 10 minutes and just chill, you're going to reset yourself. So like you could have all this momentum of energy and motion, but it's kind of like a reset. It's like, whoa, jump in the ocean, in the waters, and reset. So that way you're not flipping out, you're not stressing out, you don't have to take big leaps and get all crashed out and dive down, wait a while, and then come back up and keep doing that cycle. Now it's a more of a stable fluctuation. You're like, whoa, I'm working, I'm cooling, I'm working, I'm cooling, and it's good. It's real good. So that all has to do with mantra and maintaining your emotional guidance system, your energy in motion. Is your energy in motion making you feel good? Are you in the state of joy and bliss? How high are you on the emotional tone scale? Are you in fear and anger and rage and lust and crap? And like, or are you in like joy and excitement and curiosity and wonder and love and on the scale, this emotional tone scale? Discover, ask yourself, where am I on this thing? Because I think I want to be up here, like, all the time, like, you know? So, it's our thoughts every 17 seconds. Universe gives us a thought similar to it. It's like I'm keep going on this video. That's why I'm talking about what I'm talking about, because every 17 seconds, universe just keeps giving me downloads of similar thoughts that I want to express and share. And every 68 seconds, we get this momentum that's challenging to stop until we can sit back, try to you know, I got this from Deepak Chopra a long time ago. He was talking about going to the gap between your thoughts. And so when I go to those places and ask myself first, like, hey, where am I? And just clear your mind. If you can clear all your thoughts, how awesome is that? Try that while you're alternate nostril breathing. Another thing that I can do that I know a lot of people can't do apparently, because I'm just like super freak on this, is how, you know how like you can hold your nose and pop your ears like underwater? Well, I can do that without holding my nose, like I'm doing it right now. Like I'm doing it multiple times, like dot 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 dot. I can hear it inside my head, but I can, and maybe you can do this if you know, if you hold your nose and like pop your nose, and it's like can hear the sound of my breath and the sound of my voice reverberating through my skull. It sounds like to me, or at least my eustachian tubes or something in my ears is um, allowing the akasha, the vibration of sound that I'm emanating through my mouth and through my breath to fill my head, and I can hear it completely. So in yoga, they call it ocean breath or ujjayi breathing, where you can, like you're fogging a mirror, like, but you make the same sound when you inhale too. So it's kind of slight constriction at the back of the throat. And like, but do that with your mouth closed and do that through your nose. So it's like, try to hold the mic up so maybe you can hear this. What's really cool about ujjayi breathing here is that it creates a very steady inhale and exhale. It's very steady. That slight constriction at the back of the throat, the inhale, the exhale, ujjayi breathing, plus, excuse me, can hear that sound when I pop my ears through resonating through my skull. So it really helps me clear my thoughts. I just can focus on my breath instead of wandering thoughts. I think of thoughts at this time when I'm trying to go into the gap between my thoughts. I think of them kind of like clouds, and I'm just trying to get to this blue sky where it's like, foo, open, expansive, like completely one with the whole world has a blue sky. Like the whole world has a sky. Wherever you travel, everywhere I've traveled in the world, there's always sky. Sky is big. I like it when it's clear and blue and the sun is shining right through it. It's awesome. Anyway, that was a lot about Akasha, the ether, the first element. I think that is the element which affects all the other ones. It's the element of creation. It's again, my friend, we speak life or death into every situation. That's just peace. That doesn't require English vocabulary. That is just a sound that everyone can resonate with. Priambanjangaya Jambagaya Rabanga Shabadabambagaya. What is that? Those are sounds, yo. That feel good. They feel good to me. Let's make up some sounds. You can make up your own language. It's totally cool. If it makes you feel good, if it helps you be on a higher emotional vibration, on the emotional tone scale, if it raises you up, do that, please. You'll be a pleasure to be around. You'll be more of a pleasure to be around when we're vibing up here, right? Enjoy and bliss and love. So, I've also got, we could talk about later, power words. reframing and rephrasing some of our language, which is limiting us. We are limited by the compounds of language. However, inharmonically equivalent, basically, I mean, you could have inharmonic equivalents. However, sometimes we're probably gonna have to come up with a word, but a full allowing NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, because of the words that we speak, the sounds that we create, the stress that's around our environment, bombs going off, dogs barking all night, you know, people cussing and yelling. How does an environment like that make you feel? Notice, become aware of where in your body do you feel tension or discord, or, you know, I was recently in Guatemala and there's all these dang fireworks, but they're like these bomb rockets going off, and I was just like, man, these people are, it felt like a defense mechanism for their survival mode. Their sympathetic nervous systems are way peaked, way up high. They're like fight or flight mode consistently. And I was feeling that. It was affecting my nervous system. What's the nervous system? Well, we're basically like overgrown sperms. This is my brain. It was like probably like the sperm head, and then my spinal cord was like the sperm, and then the egg is like the body, is how I'm seeing it. Is it makes sense? And I think like the sperm and the, you know, the brain stem comes down in the spine, and you got all these nerves that go shoot out through all your parts of your body. For me to move my arm, there's like a wire, you could say, a nerve system connected from my arm going through my spine, through my brain, right? Brain's telling me to do, like, hey, move your arm, move your hands, move your fingers, play guitar, whatever, move your lips, talk about stuff, bro. Like, that's all my brain and my nervous system, right? It's wired through your entire body. So how is that making you feel? Like when something's jarring, you break a glass on accident, or someone cusses like a what do they call those people with Tourette's? They're like cussing a storm, right? I notice normally when I'm cussing, it's a sympathetic nervous system thing. It's usually like in traffic or something, you know. It's like, man, like you judging, quick to judge people because you're like, whoa, 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 live or die, live or die, live or die, live or die, stay safe or be harmed, whatever. And just that constant awareness. Ooh, and our nervous system responds and reacts really fast. And then the other side of it is parasympathetic nervous system, where we just want to rest and digest and relax and chill. It keeps us balanced. So try to be aware when you're doing your Ujjayi breathing, and you're listening to your breath, and you're like, when you got that going on, and you're sounding like the ocean breath, Ujjayi breathing, ocean breath, and you're doing alternate nostril breathing to come and rebalance the rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system, which, by the way, these nervous systems supposedly meet in the armpit. So magic point right in there, or you might be able to discover some stuff. But feel it out. Where in your body is your, you know, think about a stimulus, like, right? It's easy when someone cusses and you're around someone who cusses. Does it make you feel a certain way? It makes me feel a certain way. It usually makes me feel tense. I'm just like, I don't want to be around that, because this person, it's like their sympathetic stress can rub off and it stressed me out, you know, even though it may not have anything to do with me, but it's just being around that field of vibration can influence our vibration. So I think it definitely helps to be in a location that is free from stuff that you don't really want in life, and like the lower emotional tone scale, energy and motion, because those are all energies in motion. Other people's emotions and their stuff that's crapping them negative, you don't have to take that on. We were all born with the agency of choice. You are an agent for choice. Like, you can choose. In fact, you do choose every situation. So, um, is it making you feel good, or is it making you feel bad? Notice it. Use these techniques to shift it. Remember, just go to the gap between your thoughts if you can. If you got questions about that, please don't hesitate to ask. We can figure out other tools and solutions to make it easier to do that. And then, maybe this one, right? Alternate nostril breathing, where you're like, in, out, in, out. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. That's a good one. Like monks meditating, and like mountains and Nepal and stuff, and all over the world do that range, and that doing this kind of practice can jumpstart you, elevate you to a level of meditation and cosmic awareness, self-awareness, really, really fast. You can learn more about balancing the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems via the Heart Math Institute. This is Heart Math. Just Google it, check it out. Dave Asprey of Bulletproof Coffee, Bulletproof Exec, also has some cool heart math information, just his studies with it, and it's good stuff. So what I'm talking about is validated scientifically, and sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous systems. Get them balanced, making them feel good, and that is Ayurvedic Akasha, the ether. That is a lot to do with the first, I think the most subtle, the most profound, the most permeating substance that we have of all the 5 elements. It's the one that influences every other one. And us as humans, and the capabilities that we have with these bodies, with these opposing thumbs, and to build all the cool stuff that we can build, and do the things that we can do, and drive cars and all this stuff. It was first thought, somebody designed something, they were in joy, they were in bliss, they were checking something out, they were curious, they were on an emotional tone scale frequency that was really high vibing, and then it set this energy in motion, energy in motion, to thus create some awesome things in the world. Like every awesome thing, the table that this phone is sitting on right now, the chair that I'm sitting in, was all a thought first. Somebody's like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, man. Let's make it happen. And then they just made it happen, right? It's energy and motion, the most powerful force, So this also goes into Napoleon Hill's teachings. We look at the book Think and Grow Rich, of which a study was done in Forbes or somewhere, I don't even know, don't quote me on this stuff, but a study I heard was done, like 400 something millionaires were interviewed, and over 60% of them read part of Think and Grow Rich every single day by Napoleon Hill. What is this book? Well, this is a book often not taught in business schools for some stupid reason, because I have a business degree. I'm kind of biased against that. I feel like it's not worth the paper it's written on, and I feel bad for all the kids who are going to school for business. You need to just drop out, like Gary Vaynerchuk says. Just quit that shit and build your own business. Start something. Just start. Just replace entrepreneur with starter. Just be a starter. Start a video. Start talking at your camera. Start somewhere. Start a movement, whatever. Start the conversation. This is the ether. This is the vibration, the Akasha. Of course, this is a 40-minute video. I might chunk out segments. Anyway, whatever. This is Akasha. I also teach guitar. I've got a guitar training video series that you can check out on my website at scottmitchellatkins.com. Check it out right there. It might help you unlock different notions about akasha, the ether, the vibration, this substance of vibration. The reason I brought up Napoleon Hill was a few things. I love this book, The Master Key to Riches, and the 13 Riches. Number one of the riches is a positive mental attitude. So going back to the emotional tone scale is very relevant, right? 13th on that list is financial security. There's a lot of other riches, like sound physical health, like love, relationships, good karma stuff. A lot of good riches. Highly recommend checking out Napoleon Hill. And one of the main things I wanted to bring up was the version of Think and Grow Rich that is most current, that everyone's getting for like decades now, because it was published initially in 1929. The current version that you get is not the original version. In fact, like, Napoleon Hill had a 1,200 page book called Success Laws. All right, and then that was distilled down into about 200 pages called Think and Grow Rich. And both of those original documents talk about, he uses the word vibration a lot throughout the book. And today's version, when you buy it, you won't find the mention of the word vibration. They took it out. Why did the publishers of Think and Grow Rich take that out? They thought it was too advanced, too much for the public to handle. They're like thinking he's like woo-woo, like too groovy or something, like surfer dude, whatever. Napoleon Hill, he was commissioned by Andrew Carnegie for like 20 years to study, at that time, the most wealthy men and successful men in the world. That time it was mostly men. Women just, you know, that whole thing. Now women are just as equally as, we're just equal. We're just in a body. It could be androgynous, whatever. Anyway, he talks about vibration, which is ether, which is the akasha. It all starts in the mind. You want a millionaire mind? Listen to T. Harv Eker. Get the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, my friend. If you're talking poor thoughts, those are little files in the file cabinet of your mind that need to be replaced by rich thoughts. Otherwise, you'll stay poor forever because it's all your vibration. Ask Tai Lopez. Just YouTube search Tai Lopez, T-A-I Lopez. All right, he talks about this stuff. He talks into his camera all the freaking time, all right? But talking about vibration, all right? That is the most subtle. That is the primary one, because that brings in the air. That brings you the fresh air. It's your thoughts that lead me to Bali, to lead me to this beautiful view where I'm at. All right? Because I want fresh air. I want clean and healthy living. I want to live in the fresh house. All right? If you can't make it to somewhere that's fresh naturally, because, you know, as a human society and burn more and more fossil fuels and dig these things up. I mean, think about this from an Ayurvedic perspective. There's three other things I got to tell you about Ayurveda. Besides the 5 elements, we're going to combine the 5 elements with Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. When I was becoming vegetarian, my roommate was becoming vegan in college, and AustinEllisMusic.com, check him out. Taught him some chords. He learned some chords. He's written some songs with these chord shells that I also teach in his guitar training that I've got on my site. But some of his songs, he's an amazing songwriter and singer. He came in 2nd place in The Voice. Anyway, an aside, he was becoming vegan. I was checking out vegetarianism because I used to cook a lot of meat, and that's how I was raised and taught, like, oh, you gotta have protein and stuff. So I was injecting steaks. I was searing them on both sides and then grilling them, like the juiciest, good steaks and stuff. It was good. I brined turkeys for 12 to 24 hours in salt water, you know. I mean, I made the best. I'm a very good cook. I learned a lot from my dad when I was growing up. Anyway, we've got vegetarian cooking at the Kitchery Kitchen. Check us out on Facebook. Also at the Fresh House, freshhouse.tv. for your kitchery recipes and any questions about cooking in the kitchen, using your kitchen as a pharmacy, and with this Ayurvedic science we're talking about. And going into the kitchen, come on universe, deliver me these thoughts every 17 seconds. Going into the kitchen, we're going to look at these elements, sattva, rajas, tamas. When I was going vegetarian, I was looking up how to do it online, and I found this article that gave this really good analogy, this metaphor that I'm going to share with you right now. Is sattva. Think about a perfectly ripe apple on a tree. It's like ready to eat. It's mostly all nutrition. It's and alive and life force and good for you. It's growing on the tree. You can pluck it off and eat it. It's mostly sattvic. It's this quality of life force, of vitality, of energy. It's got electrons in it, actually electric charge. It's got cellular voltage. It has life force. All right. Parts of it are changing from the seed state to the most sattvic, ripest state to the next phase, which is decay, or the ability to be still. So the changing part is rajas, and tamas, or tamasic quality, as in meat, like when you buy meat at a store and it's been sitting out for a couple weeks dead, it's rajasic. It was sattvic when it was alive. It was alive. Somebody killed it, probably tortured it and killed it, and then cut it up into a bunch of pieces, and then it takes a couple weeks. It's changing from being alive to being the ability to be still. Which, can anything really be still? Does the ocean ever, is it ever still? Is everything vibrating? Everything's vibrating. So stillness, the ultimate point, is just like, it's all the infinite dots inside each moment. It's like tamasic quality. Tamasic is death, you could say, and decay. Ultimate product of death and decay. So sattva, we want a yogi, someone who is in unity, because yoga means union, which is unity. Someone who is in the most unity with themselves and with nature and with life force is eating most sattvic foods that are alive with life force. They're in union with life. Makes sense, doesn't it? That you eat life-giving foods, alive foods, you then too become more alive, which brings you into union with life force. All right, you're always changing. Parts are always changing, and then they're changing to, you know, we're all on this path back to Mother Earth to be tamasic. And what happens with our fossils, with these bodies, is they go into the ground, they become tamasic. What is oil? Petroleum. It is the ultimate, like, product of decay and tamas, death. And we got people extracting it from where Mother Earth settled it, and then we're dispersing it around the surface of the planet and in our atmosphere through all the car crap that the fuels, the fossil fuels that we burn, right? So from an Ayurvedic perspective, we want more sattvic stuff, right? We want to, like, run more, jog more, instead of burning all these fuels. Like, how else can we do it? Can you get electric motors? Yes. Can we get bicycles that have electric motors that you pedal and they charge, and then they give you like a super boost that go like 50 miles an hour? Yes, we can do those. We have those. We have the ability to do all that stuff. So why is it still prevalent that we've got petroleum? There's momentum, energy and motion, thought momentum. It's all thoughts. So how do we affect thoughts and change? We gotta shift the momentum. We gotta, an object tends to stay in motion unless acted on by an outside force. So we gotta speak our words, speak our truth, get these messages out in simpler ways for people to understand without having to watch 50 minutes of a video so far, you know? So we're talking about sattva, rajas, and tamas. These Ayurvedic principles. Sattva is life force, living, fresh. It's fresh, it's alive, it's Kangen water, it's electrolyzed water, it's hydrogen-rich, electron-rich water. Because our bodies are 3/4 water. We're like this much water, my friend. Whole body. So the quality and the quantity of the water that we put in our body is going to affect us more than any other single variable that we can change. Isn't that so? Since if our good health is like a puzzle, and there's food, diet, exercise, supplements, laughter, relationships, chiropractic, massage, acupuncture, skydiving, like playing guitar. There's all these little pieces of the puzzle that factor into our good health, and yet our bodies are 3/4 water. That's 3/4 of the puzzle of our good health, isn't it? So it makes sense then. The quality and the quantity of the water we drink will affect our health in our bodies more than any other single variable, period. Isn't that so? Doesn't that make sense? I think it does. And so what's the best water to drink? Well, what is the best water to drink? Maybe it's the water that is the most fresh. Water curves. It's naturally curving around rocks with gravity. You know, if you can get fresh spring water that's untainted, if you can have it tested, do that. What else would be the best water we can get? Well, fortunately, there's like NSF International. It's a third-party nonprofit testing organization which has the most rigorous testing for consumer products and consumer safety testing than any other organization that I know of in the world. I mean, if you know of something else, let it be known. But out of 7,000 to 8,000, maybe more than 8,000 now, drinking water systems tested and certified by NSF. I'm an independent distributor for multi-pure filters, the top 20 drinking water filters, which are NSF certified to reduce the most contaminants of health concern. They're all made by this company called Multi-Pure, the top 20 out of about 8,000 approximately. So, you know, that's what I choose, is a Multi-Pure filter. We could go into conversations about different filtration technology, but we want to filter the water first and get contaminants out of it and leave in minerals that are good for us, like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, which is what a multi-pure filter does, which is why I love them so much. But then we also want to make our water healthy. And how does that mean? We want to make it sattvic. Well, we have electricity in our society, so basically a water ionizer appliance, like a Kangen water system, is the most widely popularized system. However, there's newer technologies that have been created and advanced in the water ionizer technology space. So from Kangen water, with what it is it's a strong electromagnet. The idea being this, is that just like, you remember audio and video cassette tapes, right? And they record content and media magnetically on this magnetic film strip. And when you hold a magnet up to it, like a strong magnet, it erases the memory of the magnetic tape. Well, same with water. Water stores memory. So when it's traveling through your town, if you're in an industrialized place, wherever you are, I mean, when it's traveling to get to your water faucet, it can be traveling from a water treatment facility, you know, that's filtered out feces and put disinfection products in your water, such as chlorine, which reacts with other contaminants in your water, like ammonia, to create chloramine, which is a known carcinogen. It's more difficult to get out of your water. Basically, bottom line is, chlorine was put in our water to kill living organisms. It was used in World War II to kill soldiers. It's put in our water to kill living organisms, and we're living organisms. You want to filter the chlorine out of your water. But chlorine reacts with other stuff like ammonia and organic matter to create trihalomethanes, THMs. These are known carcinogens. There's a lot of different ones of them, and you want to get those out. Those are contaminants of health concern. Okay, if you're drinking those, you know, it's like the book by Jeff Olson, The Slight Edge, where he talks about the little things we choose to do every single day, you know, compound. They're easy to do and easy not to do, whichever we choose. But whatever we choose, time either promotes us or exposes us. Things compound over time. So are you drinking chlorinated water every single day for 30 years? You know, that'll compound. Are you drinking water with a bunch of chromium 6? What is hexavalent chromium? Chromium 6? That's the stuff that, if you know the name of Aaron Brockovich, the movie Aaron Brockovich, played by Julia Roberts, that's a true story. That's based on this woman, Aaron Brockovich, who is a powerful advocate for protection of water and people's health with water. Still today, in 2016, putting her foot down and fighting that good fight that needs to happen about our water and protecting our water, because we're 3/4 water. We don't survive without it. We need fresh, clean, filtered, and healthy drinking water. Your body needs it. Your family tree for generations is crying for you to get the water right. So let's do it together. Let's co-create this. I can just give you what I've learned. It's up to you to take this information, apply it for yourself, and see what's true for you. Water is like, it's the saddest situation. I mean, I just want to cry for water. It's amazing. Our tears are water. The shiny of your eyeball is water. The shiny on my lips is water. You need it. Gotta have it. Can't live without it. So, this is a call to, you know, quit putting tamasic stuff that the earth buried, called petroleum, and sucking it out of the planet and then dispersing it everywhere and getting it all in our water. It's tamasic. We need sattvic waters, like the waters that are in these trees, like the waters that are in the coconuts. This has been a long talk. This is episode 1 of Fresh House TV podcast, and I hope you learned something. If you did, definitely please comment here wherever you're seeing this video and let us know what questions you got. What's the conversation that you want to be having about how to make your home fresh, how to have a fresh house, how to have a sattvic living environment, less tamasic. It requires the rajas, the rajasicness, to reduce, to reconstitute the tamasic quality stuff around you and bring in the sattva, the life, the plants that are in your home, the fresh indoor air. We have NASA indoor air technology, space certified NASA technology for improving the indoor air quality of your home, because most people are sucking up dust, mites, dander from carpets. Trust me, I know. I worked as Mr. Mover for 8 years. I've moved thousands of homes, people's stuff that they collect, that's just sitting there. They bought in Bali, Indonesia, took home and put it in a box in their attic, and it's there 20 years from now, sitting there with dust on it. They're paying in their storage unit every month. That's not financially sound. We want sattvic, total health. I'm all about this message because I believe it's possible to have it all. The good life, as Ty Lopez puts it, health, wealth, love, and happiness. It's total health. I believe in total health, physical, financial, and spiritual. you can have that too if you choose, if you speak it into existence. So what is it for you? Is it physical, financial, spiritual, all of the above? We're looking at life with an Ayurvedic approach because it makes sense. Here are the elements. I wake up every day, I see these hands in this body, and I can express I am light moving through this vessel, sharing this with you. We've got this conversation open. Please join us. What is it that you need? We've got air, water, laundry chemicals. Are you washing your clothes in chemicals that are absorbing into your skin 24/7, in your sheets, in your pajamas, in your clothes that you go throughout the day with? If you are, get something natural, or we've got a NASA laundry system that works for like top load laundry systems. That works best for that instead of high efficiency systems. So check it out if it's for you. If it's not, no worries. If you need other natural solutions, so you're not absorbing chemicals all throughout your skin, your largest organ that's porous, that goes, we're not just what we eat and what we drink, my friends. We are what we absorb. We are porous. Everything's going through us. The sound waves are going through us. That's number one. Get the sound right. Get the words that people are speaking around you right. When the 5 people you surround yourself with, you're going to have the same food habits, the same language habits, the same income habits. The 5 people you spend your most time around, right? Who are those people? Are they lifting you up? Are they inspiring you? Are you surrounding yourself with the thinking that outthinks you? Are you all getting good at something worth getting good at together? Are you around a tribe that's helping lift you up right now? If not, we've got that here too. Hopefully you can find that here within our community. Definitely join us on Facebook, the Fresh House group, open discussion group. We love to have you co-create with us this beautiful world of total health, physical, financial, and spiritual. I'm Scott Mitchell Atkins, your Chief Visionary Commanding Officer. I love you, and I want you and your family tree to thrive with all of ours. Thanks. Have an awesome day. Cheers. I like doing that. It's like a big piece. It's like live long and prosper instead of that, you know? Because people confuse it and do that, and that's not peace. This is peace. Jimi Hendrix talked about that. But I like that one too. That was pretty dope, right? All right. Peace.